Attention gamers. Playing ADCs in League of Legends is tough when you suffer from a rather serious disorder known as derpy dexterity syndrome, which is best described as imagining if your right click suffered from Tourette's, acting up and embarrassing you at the worst times. This also means that where other people have healthy and functioning poop shoots, I just have a gaping chasm, deeply red, swollen and extremely sensitive to touch from countless very painful experiences. But my opinion that ADCs are weak when I play them seems to have annoyed some probable Yasuo mains, so I would just like to apologize for not being born with Gosu mechanics enhanced with highlight-worthy brain boners, and instead I am just trying to do whatever I can to entertain my audience. But today I come to you head down with my tail tucked between my legs, tangled in my massive wiener schlong of perpetual rightness, by saying I will no longer be able to complain about ADCs in Season 11, because they are busted. Introducing Kraken Slayer, where Kraken apparently means everything, because this item does not care if you are a boy, if you are a girl, if you are squishy, if you are a tank, if you are a moron, because its damage is true. Every third attack with this item steals your girlfriend, takes her out for sushi, brings her to Cancun, then makes sweet sweet love to her on camera, posting footage of the bang fest on TikTok, tagging your simp account so that you lose your day job for dating the infamous hoe who traded her own cooter in for a rice-wrapped piece of fish. So today we will be showing its strength on Donald Dreadlocks Trump, because every third attack happens a lot when you have a double pistol pop passive, and then we will try it out on this chick who gives herself a caffeine enema on takedowns to see its power on such a jittery freak. Now if you are pumped to see the power of 1 2 3 on ADCs and are enjoying this content you are watching, please slap that like button and subscribe for more, because it bribes the YouTube gods into showing me heavily coveted pics of their algorithm's sacred nippies. Okay, so game 1, I have the little latching magical Magi as my support against High Noon, my dank wife and some club swatting moron. He spreads his own troll shit everywhere and then from the ground erects a puke infested stone ween, so I hit a dash pistol pop, but the douche is determined to get his bite, which wears him out, and I follow the flashing leader for the first kill. Then thanks to this floating feline saying dirty things about giving me some good zoomies right in front of my own wife, she too pisses off. Then a minute later I am just getting into a little domestic dispute with waifu when that body odor ridden Neanderthal comes in, only to immediately regret his decision and retreat into the cucksuck cove. So I tell him I will meet him on the other side, only for it to turn into a pathetic game of ring around the rosy, as he knows that I know that he knows he's a dead dumbass. A few minutes later and the troll spreads his shit on the ground like butter again, so I have my kitty give him the strobe light, hoping he will seize out so I can see how many bullets he can fit in his mouth before we synchronize some flashing and I take him down. Then this kitty has shot so many magical little muffins up my asshole that I am feeling unstable, which scares my girl away. I tell our jungler that he has to come see their support, who is fully committed to playing the role of a troll in this game, so he stops down in the hallway of stimulation, makes an appearance rooting High Noon Ghost Sperm as I unload just about every bullet I have been collecting before settling for the consolation prize of murdering that ungroomed caveman for the 4th time. There is no saying how that bitch didn't die from my entire ult, but rumor has it she still roams the rift, famous as the girl who survived 36 gunshots to the head, hobbling around and whimpering, her face smashed in like someone dropped her head into a panini press. But when my curiosity piqued as to how much health she had after surviving such a brutal beating, her response was so far from an actual answer to my question that you could sign this bitch up for the next presidential debate. Anyways, for reasons related to my mini-map showing 4 red icons and only 2 blue ones in my lane, and me not noticing this until a group of people were playing footsies with each other inside of my asshole, our first statue got torn down. But luckily their support is still high-key trolling, thinking these boulder boners he is sprouting from the ground are going to somehow allow him to win a standstill and right-click battle against a Fed ADC, so he donates a very diminished amount of gold to the Make a Fed Rav Foundation, to which my support hops off to mark her territory on the dead bitch with a commanding shitter sneeze. Then we continue the pursuit to murder our loose ends, but I tell my wife she can't just tie me up and expect me to let her have her way with a sock in my mouth like the good old times, so I pour a bunch of Coke and Mentos into my pistols and then tip them in her direction before having to match her flash with one of my own so that I can hit a double Glock take a walk combo for the kill. We run mid to see how our spitballing hamster is holding up against tiny Dumbledore, and I just have to say that the combination of Yumi's epilepsy inducer paired with my ejaculation of ammunition is quite a force to be reckoned with, and I highly advise you find yourself a nip-nibbling kitten and try it. But then I get word that the giant smelly slugger is off-bot trying to give someone else his gold, so I run in and say, how dare you, where is your allegiance to only being a feeding moron to me, and then I demand he give me the money instead. Okay, so the game takes a bit of a turn when their gun slut discovers that Riot's code is multiplying her CDR values together instead of adding them, and since she is getting her girl dick flattened and smashed on repeat during actual skill-based battles, she has resorted to just jerking off her alt key from Fountain for the rest of the game, so I hope you enjoy the added suspense as we continue on. The teeny weeny wizard is off mid, so I do a dash double pistol pop only to get cage cucked and forced to regurgitate the reckoning onto him in the midst of this horribly inaccurate wind tunnel. Then I try to pick a fight with the death fetish goat, but quickly decide it is not worth the risk as that cheating bitch is trying to rapid fire Back to the Future my ass, so I go on a journey of sidestepping and clenching my ass cheeks together, hoping she will get a carpool tunnel or her hand will fall off or something, as this is ruining my damn game. Anyways, I see that hobbling chode excuse of a magician mid again, so I patiently wait for his circle of shame to go on cooldown, which doesn't happen as he immediately uses it again, but even exploiting bugs isn't enough to prevent his own homicide. I head top to see if the Walking Rock needs help against Captain Jack Sparrow and his bursting bitch-ass barrels, and since Miss Altsalot's global queefs are also healing her friends, it turns into a close battle, resulting in me dancing for my life like a dying stripper, only to find a hiding spot as if I am trying to avoid some ominous big brother from finding my location and probing my anus. Clearly people are getting irritated, so I crack a lame joke trying to hide the fact that I'm hoping this bitch gets gangrene and loses her fingers before the game is over so the madness will stop, but it doesn't, increasing the difficulty mode of this game to its highest level, 200 years, as I continue skipping around like a naive schoolgirl while simultaneously praying the zoomies being shot into my fudge cutter can counteract this bullshit. Scurvy Steve is enjoying the amenities that come with having a bug-exploiting virgin on his team, as he is now on a killing spree and uncontestedly keg-smashing my hooded midget employees, so I run over and tell him that Pirates of the Caribbean should have never made a sequel because it was a shit movie, to which he tries to find a private place to run off to and cry, but unfortunately he wasn't able to piss off the plant in time to escape my wrath. At this point I decide to go on a suicide mission, not knowing what is causing this brain-dead bug, but hoping that killing that ratchet-ass rapid-firing moron will put an end to the madness and restore balance and justice for all. Only to be met by the Secret Service of shitbags' entire staff, ruining my noble cause of trying to stop this virgin from having any more fun. And thus unfortunately the real loser of this game was Riot's code testing process, and despite that kid with a micropenis complex who decided that sitting in base for 20 minutes and repetitively jamming his slobbering face into his alt key was a good use of everyone's time, I represented the largest ween on the damage meters, so I waited a day for someone at Riot to get fired, and then I hopped back in on this Adderall addict to test its power in a real game. I have the electric green bean supporting me this time, and fortunately for us, since this is PvE, their support's brain hadn't quite loaded in yet, so I run over and ask her how she plans on not being a dead bitch when she is cornered in a cove at level 1, to which she responds by burning her entire savings account of summoner spells, just so she can get away, only to immediately turn around for one last missed Q and to burn Twinkle Shit's heel in the process before giving me that thick cash. Okay, this piss tit in her pajamas actually did land a stun on me, but it just provoked a case of the shift shitters from Ezreal, leaving him in an awkward predicament as the tiny LS that I have sitting on my shoulder is saying jerk off your right click button until it screams Rav, and then snort a quick line off the dead bitch, which allows me to harass Miss Nancy in her 90s. Then I see the PJ's pussy a monster in the forest, so I run in only to get hit by a missed skill shot, but despite me losing vision of her, I just know that on the other side of this mountainous wall there is a large amount of incompetence as my support blindly green beans the bitch and I deploy a thin beam to send her home. Poor Pulsefire Twinkleshit has the decision-making skills of a used paper towel, which results in him being sky-fucked by our male stripper and taken down. But this is League after all, so despite us stomping like a horny rhino down here, we have a maulding mommy with less mental stability than a brain-dead baboon who can't comprehend that her job this game can be as easy as hopping in my backpack and saying "we," but she would rather bitch and moan in chat while repetitively inting, so we are in for a game here. Anyways, we are just continuing to play our favorite game called Bash the Blonde Bitches into the Ground when we get giant eyeball notifications informing us that David Blaine is about to make an appearance. He takes a wild guess as to what the Static Shitters card was, and props to him, it was indeed yellow, so I reward him by tap dancing on my mouse buttons until he joins my support at Dead Moron Camp. Ez burns flash and monkey see monkey do, except I do it in the wrong direction like a sped degenerate, so 1 kill is all I get when 3 were practically hand delivered to me. A few minutes later and I see that their bot lane is bringing a dead bitch buffet to the mid lane now, and I am so disappointed that I couldn't attend the party in person, so I send a regretful RSPV in the form of a 600-pound death rocket straight into David Blaine's stupid face. But I have Kraken Slayer now ladies, and I just know that destroying this statue is going to make me feel like I have 6 dicks and they are all ejaculating at the same time, so I flash in to share the experience with Pulsefire Twinkle shit, which extends my euphoria long enough to play piss on the pipsqueak in the pajamas. Then I see that 8-eyed coked up sword lord coming to sniff my gooch in a bad way, so I patiently wait to do some synchronized pissy plant riding to escape in style. I am pissed though because another big party is going down that I am going to be late to, so I have to resort to sending my big ass RSPV rocket again just so they know I was thinking about them. Wait, I have this awesome magic trick that I keep up my sleeve to impress magicians. I call it the blind disappearing act, and it requires some patience, but if I do it right I can make them disappear instantly, and let me tell you, it usually knocks them dead. Oh, did I mention that we have a set on our team, so it would be impossible to lose anyway, but I am enjoying getting fed off of my thin beams, which enable me to sprint over to the shift shitters of the world and show them what my every third auto attack feels like when it slips into his blonde-haired little gooch hole. I see Chris Angel trying to impress the blonde by pulling tricks over these blue-hooded midgets, but when I see him guess the red card I figure he is defenseless because Lux has repetitively proven her inability to land a skill shot. So I make a quick meal out of Magic Man, and the caffeine enema negates her lousy attempt to fatigue me. This leaves me against Pulsefire Puss Boy, but he has more fleas than a dead deer carcass, so I just send a farewell bomb to let him know that I will be back later for that e-boy ass. Dreadlocks Donald has gotten fed off of our miserable moron of a top laner, but unfortunately for him, getting stunned as a marksman typically does not result in a very pleasurable experience. And I told this blonde butt muncher that I would be back, so here I am in all my glory with the right clicks that score me chicks, and no combination of fountain sucking and flashing is going to save him. Tilted Fate comes in to guess my card, so I appease him, pretty much giving away that yellow is the one just so he chooses correctly, but then I ask him what comes next and he clearly hasn't thought that part through yet, so I murder his dumb ass. And instead of base racing with the E, I opt to go back just so I can turn the color off on his screen one more time before it says defeat, and then we put the poor puppies out of their misery. So yeah, I honestly think that playing safe until you have the Kraken Slayer on ADCs in Season 11 and then whipping out your meaty Venus right-click dick is the way to the LP train. Let me know if you are enjoying the Season 11 PBE videos, or if there is anything else you want to see from this channel. I live to serve, so let me know how best to serve those needs, and shout out to my awesome Patreons putting dollar bills in the tip jar. Pet your dog, jerk your ween, say something nice to someone today, and brush your teeth tonight. Rav out.